This guy is different from the two others. He will be more successful. He doesn't know it yet though. Is he smarter? Not really. Is he luckier? Not at all. So what is it about this guy that will make him more successful in the future? Let's find out.
In today's video, I want to tell you his story and why people like him are landing amazing jobs at huge firms, paid six figures, while the others are just struggling and dreaming about it. If you can simply adopt the mindset he has, you won't struggle as much in your career and you will stop asking yourself how other people are so successful and killing it in their jobs and you aren't. If you watch this video with an open mind and you're willing to change your strategy, then keep going. There is a reason why everyone wants to work at big firms like Microsoft, Facebook, Apple, Google, and all the others. They pay very well and have huge advantages. I remember graduating and landing a job at PwC, one of the big four, and I was paid slightly better than my other peers at small and medium companies. Why do you think? Big companies stay big and stay at the top because they can attract top talents with more money and more opportunities. These companies also have hierarchies and systems in place, allowing new employees to fit in right away and begin having an impact very fast. All that is super compelling, and let's be honest, you and I, the majority of people want a job with everything that I just mentioned. But getting inside those companies is hard. These big firms can't hire 10,000 of you guys, right? So every year they raise the bar slightly higher just because they realize that new talents are emerging every year from all around the country and they don't want to miss an opportunity at hiring those guys. So what do? Seth Godin, the king of marketing and best-selling author, explains it pretty well in his book, The Dip, a little book that teaches you when to quit and when to stick. He explains in the book that everything in life that is slightly worth it have a dip. If you want to learn a new skill, if you want a bachelor's degree, if you want to be a professional athlete, you will have to go through a dip. The bigger the achievement, the deeper the dip. And that's why not everyone becomes professional soccer players like Cristiano Ronaldo. Most of them drop just here. And it's the same for big companies. The big companies make the process harder and harder for average people to give up or fail so that the talents I was talking about have an opportunity at showing themselves and getting hired, allowing the big firms to stay at the top again for a couple of more years. And the cycle continues. But the question is, why do so many people apply every year despite seeing that huge dip? It's because of a psychological trait named scarcity. We love what is in limited quantity and we can't have it. For example, that's why when people receive their paycheck at the beginning of the month, they tend to spend it on random things. And then at the end of the month, when they saw that their account has decreased, they will limit their spending because the scarcity mindset will be there because they see a little amount of money in their account. I bet you noticed also that when you're in a relationship, you attract more people than when you're single. It also explains why when you see that little 3 left in stock on Amazon, you sense that feeling of scarcity too and you want to buy the item even more. And that applies in job search as well, because you know that Google, Microsoft, all those big firms, they can't hire everyone, okay? They have maybe 10 spots every year, right? So you want it even more because of all the advantages that they can give you. So here's the solution. If you really want it, if you really want that job and you are ready to get through that dip I was talking about, here's the solution. Stand out. All right, now I see your faces from the other side of the screen, right? That was not the answer that you were looking for, but give me a chance here. Big four firms like KPMG receive around 30,000 applications every year. Google receives around 2 million every year. All right, do you really think that all these guys will land a job there? If you're still wondering, the answer is no. Those guys don't believe themselves that they are worth it or that they deserve a job at Google or KPMG or all the other big firms. So what will they do? They will just do the minimum, just like the two guys you saw at the beginning of this video. And the reason is simple. Standing out is hard. Standing out is boring. Standing out takes a lot of time. And more importantly, you don't even know if it'll be worth it at the end. But that's awesome news for us people who are willing to go the extra mile. So Here's what successful people do. They sit down and create a mental image of the most average candidate they think of who will apply for his dream job. They'll probably send a resume they wrote themselves in 15 minutes, most likely not tailored to this job. They will most likely not send any cover letter. They will use the easy apply button. They will repeat this process for most of the jobs they come across. And more importantly, they don't believe themselves they could land a job at a notorious firm. Now, our successful guy has all the answers he needs to get started. He simply has to do the exact opposite and do stuff that the others will never do. But he still misses something that will keep him going even when he faces obstacles. The process and the hard work behind landing a job at a notorious firm is doubting. Why do some people keep going and others give up despite the effort they have invested already? The answer is simple. The people who keep going know exactly why they want a job there. Money and all the advantages are not enough sometimes to stay motivated. You need something deeper in meaning to keep going in that journey. That can be the quality of life you'll get if you land this job. Maybe it's putting your family in a nice spot. Maybe it's being able to travel more or give more gifts to your partner. Maybe it's the impact you will have on society. No matter the reason, it has to be yours and it has to be meaningful. Remember that every time you want to give up. When you know why you're job searching and accept the challenges you'll be facing, this is where magic starts to happen. And inevitably, sooner or later, you will succeed. And you'll be grateful and proud of the path you previously took. I honestly loved writing this video and filming it. That's the kind of video I want to be making in the future more and more, just because I relate to these stories, just because it's exactly how I view job search and how I view my long-term goals in my career. I hope I was able to convince you that if you really want a job, you shouldn't give up at the first obstacle. Even if you can't get it right after university, even if you can't get it in the next 3 months, if you really want that job, if you really want to work at that firm, make it as a priority goal and work for it, even if it takes you 3 years or 5 years, because it will be worth it afterward. And the best strategy you have to keep going and to actually land that job that you really want is really standing out, because you don't know how many people, like 99% of people, are not willing to do that extra mile, that extra effort to land their jobs just because they're just, I don't know, they don't have a good enough reason to land that job. But if you have one, you will keep going and you will get it. If you're struggling to land interviews at companies you truly care about and you need help, know that I offer one-on-one private coaching. I will help you get unstuck in your job search and see results. I have already helped dozens of people this past couple of months, and I want to do it as well for you. So if you're interested, just file the form in the description down below and I'll contact you within 24 hours. I'm making a series about how to stand out, and this is the first video. So if you want to know more, if you want to watch more videos like this one, then you should watch this video here. Hit the like button, it will help me a ton and it will help YouTube recommend this video to other people, so don't forget it. Subscribe so that you won't miss any future videos just like this one, and I'll talk to you soon. Ciao.